What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Eric Taylor. What'd you say? You said, no. It's your boy, Eric Taylor, tailored to you astrology with episode 54, Knowledge is Love, with my special guest, who I promised she would return, and she's here, Miss Anjani Siegrist from Awaken the Dream School and Venus Gemstone, as you might know her on IG. And tonight we are talking about this powerful energy. It's a mixed bag, baby, of the lunar eclipse in the Scorpio full blood moon, Gemini retrograde, Mercury retrograde in Gemini, the Saturn squaring the nodes, and much more. So, Miss Anjani, how are you doing this evening, my friend?
Very, very good. I have been just sipping on cacao
Ah,
and water. So in
okay.
India, during the eclipses, you're supposed to just don't eat food
Okay.
because the eclipse is very detoxifying and cleansing. And if you have food in your system, that it's just one more obstacle to get through to the root of whatever that emotional energy is in our body. So I feel really good right now, maybe a little bit lifted, like high almost, because when you eat food, it really takes all of that focus into the process of digestion. So without that, I'm like a little bit not grounded, I would say.
Okay. So, a little opposite of the Taurus energy. Well, that's fascinating because, okay, so I did eat today. I had a photo shoot earlier today, which was really fun. And I have been feeling sort of heavy,
Mm,
intense, sluggish. I didn't sleep
mm.
so well last night. And I guess the difference, just in a nutshell, with you being a Taurus ascendant, this is in your seventh house. With me being a Scorpio ascendant, this is on my first house, right? The I am
Mm.
physical body and stuff. And I texted you off air. I needed to get like a little battery charge rest, which I wasn't even able to do that, but at least I laid down for a minute. But I find that, well, number one, as I always start off, tonight, as we're starting the show, the ascendant is in Scorpio at 9 degrees. The moon is at 23 degrees. So it's almost at the 25th degree of the exact eclipse. Now, I think, do you have the times? I think it's 10:27 p.m. and then again at 12:13, because there's like
Oh, you mean
because there's two
the
eclipses tonight. So there's like the partial, I think at 10:27 Eastern,
Mm.
and then 12:13 or 41 or something, the full. So like it's really the 15th and the 16th early in the morning. But for West Coast folks like us, it's pretty much all on the 15th.
Mhm.
So I guess the first question that I want to ask you, and my audience will remember you from your last appearance when we spoke about God, what did we talk about? I
We
just
were talking about the other eclipse,
We were
that
talking
Taurus.
about the other eclipse and some of the other energy and stuff, and now we've sort of hit that other access, and then 6 months from. But you definitely have an interesting relationship and thoughts on Saturn. So I think this, I was joking earlier saying that it's a mixed bag, but I think that there is some supportive energy to this
Mm,
eclipse, right?
mm,
With the sextile to Neptune, the trine maybe, with Pluto, depending on how people would see that in Capricorn.
Mm.
How do you feel the squaring of Saturn in Aquarius to this 20, and that's at 24 degrees, so it's almost exact. It's a 25
Mhm.
degrees of the Taurus and Sun and the Moon in Scorpio. How do you think that plays into this great story, and how could we feel it
Mm.
in the collective?
So, okay, so the eclipses. First of all, if we think about the South Node from Vedic astrology, the South Node is the body of that snake or a dragon. They call it the dragon's body. And the South Node being the dragon's body, which is fully instinctual. It's fully not what we're thinking about, but what our body knows. What our body knows. So there's like this body wisdom, instinctual wisdom in our physical bodies, and also all the stories that we hold in our body. Doing body work, I put my hand on a part of the body. There's this whole story in there before we think about it. So with Scorpio, the lunar eclipse with the South Node, that all of that body wisdom is coming out right now. The stories in our bodies, and also we can't get away from our ancestral trauma and gifts. Trauma and gifts. So I always want to remember to keep those together, because within all of the traumatic things that happen in our ancestry, there's something that is a gift also that maybe we're not fully aware of, but it's in our body. That wisdom is there. And then the North Node is the head of the dragon. The North Node, where we're going, it's like that desire and that, but it's a knowing that we want to go do something, and there's like success and achievement and goals, and like let's be progressive and go get it. That's the head of the dragon.
Yes. Which we
So
can be obsessive about it too.
absolutely, because we're taught to think more. We're taught to go that direction and mostly cut off from the wisdom of our body. So go ahead.
No, I just want to ask you a random question about that, because yes, I think of the Rahu, the dragon's head, K2, the dragon's tail. But one
Mhm.
thing that's fascinating, and I've never talked to other astrologers about this. So I know with the North and South Node in terms of how we deal with it in the natal chart. But when you look at it in transit in the 18th month cycle that it usually is in, how do you think, and let's say the duration of time, should we kind of exist and accept and know the gifts and skills we've mastered in the South Node in Scorpio? And then in that 18-month cycle, when do we start to really merge the energy and go more towards the North Node? Do you know what I
I
mean?
think it's, yeah, I do. That's
Yeah.
exactly where I was going with this head and the body. So there's, as a student of astrology, we've always been taught to go away from the South Node, go toward the North. The
Right.
South Node is the past, karma, patterning, conditioning, habits, addictions, past lives. The North is, that's good. The North is where we're going. Let's go North. Well,
Well, we got to balance it, right?
yeah, so my takeaway from all the different schools and all the different books is we need both. And a lot of us fear our bodies and fear our ancestral trauma, and
Mm,
therefore we're protecting ourselves also from our gifts.
that's deep.
So during that 18-month cycle, I feel that every moment of that 18-month cycle is a moment to integrate, to notice where our head wants to go, bring it back into the body, and then
Mm,
take the body with it and then bring it back. Like it's a constant going back and forth so that,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes more sense to me than thinking of it as, let's say, the first 4 to 6 months, you're kind of focusing more on the tail and the body and the gifts and sort of the spiritual karmic energy, and then the next year focus go toward, you know what I mean? So it's more like a constant dance back and
Mm-hmm.
forth compared to one period of time and then another period of time. And so
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes more sense to me logically. Virgo
Mm-hmm.
Mercury, can't help it. But you know what I mean? Like I try to mentally, logically place it because what
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling intuitively and what I'm sensing, because we've been dealing with so much of this Taurus energy. And that's what we were talking about, the Taurus Pisces energy, and so much of the Pisces energy.
Mm-hmm.
And so now to have the South Node and the Moon in Scorpio, like for me on my ascendant,
Mm-hmm.
there's this thin veil, right? We feel the veil and we can kind of touch it very much in the 8th and 12th house, sort of the 3D, 5D, right? Physical, spiritual. And I think right now I'm feeling like I'm in between both worlds. And I
Mm-hmm.
felt like that the last few days. And just Friday evening was at like a party for friends and, just conversations, but, real kind of interesting and deep and talking about different stuff. But it's like I could feel the Scorpio energy more than the Taurus energy. And then even
Mm-hmm.
more so yesterday, and also that need to emotionally merge.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I'm sensing that, but I'm also trying to, and I had that experience today doing my photo shoot, still be in nature
Mm-hmm.
and get grounded. And then I
Mm-hmm.
did like a class that I do on Sundays. We do like a group meditation and all that stuff. And it was very grounding. So it's funny. I've been kind of literally doing what you've been saying. I've been doing both and not even consciously doing it, more unconsciously, subconsciously, and just spiritually doing it. And it's what I've needed. But I'll make you laugh with that you're the Mars Pisces queen. So I had this theory. I was like, wait a minute. A couple of days ago, 5 days ago. So Mars is close to conjuncting Neptune in Pisces, you guys. It's what, a couple degrees away. And
Yeah.
that conjunction, I think, is exact in a couple of days.
Monday.
One day. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, tomorrow. Okay. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't sure. There's 16th or 18th. But okay, so I've been having random foot pain, and Mars and Pisces could be, foot pain because I've had 4 surgeries on my feet. March has collapsed and all the stuff. And the other day I woke up, I didn't do anything. I swear to you, Anjani. And my right heel was just hurting like nobody's business. I'm like, what the heck happened? And then something just hit me today. It's like, well, Mars is in Pisces and conjuncting Neptune. Now, yeah, for me, it's my 5th house, but still, it's still Mars, where you could have accidents or injuries or different things. And then, so I've been, as each day, like in the shower or outside, putting on my lotion, I've been trying to like just massage the heel and stuff. But I'm just like, man, I'm going through some Pisces foot pain. And I was like, is this you, Mars? You know what I mean? So I don't know. It was just funny to me. And sometimes, you know how in life you'll feel or you'll notice things with the transits. And please, anybody commenting or whatever. Actually, I can't. Can you see the text? The
Yeah, you
chat?
know what I've been doing? I've been responding on my phone to the text. So
Okay.
when you see
Okay.
me looking down, I'm
No, no,
answering
no. Okay.
these things
Okay. Well,
here.
just yeah, everyone, hello. Just let me know who's in with us, because I want to just say something to everybody too.
Sabali, Irene,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can't scroll on here, so I don't see
Okay, that's
beyond
all
that.
right. I mean, so, there's a couple of folks in there. Maybe Kimberly might be in there. Hey, Irene Mack, how you doing? Sabale, that's my amazing wife. And
Oh,
yeah, that's so. Oh my God, you would love her stuff because you're like all about making stuff. So she has organic and vegan body and skincare. So she's just launched, and it's with trace mineral deodorants, lip balms, and she's doing a body spray, but no chemicals, all just pure, clean, like boom. So, but what's so crazy is that I have really, you know, you have these experiences with different planets and transits, and you can see it play out in your life. And I just wanted to say for the group watching and for us and everybody, just, love and prayers and healing energy to everyone in Buffalo. Very sad, but that to me was very representative of this blood full moon, and you can see things happen intensely couple of days before, couple of days after, especially with the lunar eclipse. Very karmic fated, and who could ever, think about something psychotic and crazy like that? But just, I digress. But you know what I mean? So it's so one thing that I was wondering though, with Saturn kind of like forming this T square and being the referee between like Taurus and Scorpio, do you feel in a way, because we've talked about this in terms of just the lineage and the bone and the DNA and all that. And I love how you break that down. But Saturn in Aquarius squaring the nodes to me, I almost wonder if Saturn is trying to make us understand that there is a price to pay when you stay rigid and stuck. We're dealing with fixed energy. And you don't release something, surrender, let go. You don't go through the metamorphosis, the transmutation of Scorpion, Phoenix rising, eagle soaring, right? And then at the same side, on the other axis, that you don't get grounded. Like Saturn, because it's a very karmic planet as well, and you think of the law and order, you think of the limits, fears, anxiety, restrictions, Saturn's almost also, I wonder if it's saying to us at this time, listen, part of being disciplined and structured is honoring the past, your DNA, your roots, your ancestors, but then taking the energy of being connected to the earth and nature and getting yourself spiritually grounded so that you form the disciplines to prepare. Because you know what you think about the water bearer, right? And isn't it just pouring? Oh, we lost Anjani real quick. Isn't it pouring the water? There you go. Isn't Saturn pouring the water in Aquarius on the nature, on what we need to surrender and let go? Do you know what I mean? I kind of feel like through that discipline, it's spreading it to both sides. Because like you said, we have to do that dance, right? Where we have to be spiritually grounded, spend the time in nature, right? What do we value? How do we love ourselves, right? How do we in tune with our senses, that receiving energy you were speaking of, sensual, spiritual, but then with the Scorpio, how do we not try to control things? How do we not try to manipulate, right? I'm thinking more low vibration there, but like, how do we not try to always focus on money, power, right? Money, power, sex, but how do we spiritual healing Scorpio, surrender, trust, intimacy, and let go. And so I think Saturn wants us to water both of these. So Saturn's like blowing the whistle, brrr, the referee. All right, Taurus and Scorpio, line up. We're doing both here.
I like that.
You know what I mean? And that's what I'm kind of feeling intuitively. And I think it's important for our lives. And you guys can even comment on the chat. Anjani is dealing with it. Thank you so much, because it's actually not on my screen tonight. But I do wonder where people have their Scorpio, have their Taurus and Aquarius, and have they been feeling this intensity? And make sure you water both. Water the balance, you guys. Water the self-love, grounding, sensual, spiritual nature side, and then water the spiritual healing, cleansing, detoxing, fasting, surrender, let go, elimination, right? Side as well, because I think it's going to serve us in this 18th month cycle, you know?
So I also want to bring in that this Saturn is going to be squaring again the eclipse when we get back to the eclipse season in the fall.
Yes.
We're going to have another Saturn making this exact same emotion. I was going to say feature, but then so the way this is coming in for me, because also it's on my 1st and 7th house.
Yeah.
What I've been noticing is that there's a part of me that I've been overemphasizing my skills in, like, I will call it easy money. I make easy money doing massage. Everybody who I touch is like, what the hell did you just do? That I've never felt anything like this. Like, it's very out of body.
Okay.
It's very, like, I can hear the story in people's body, and it's a dance. I get into this really weird transcendental state, and it's very transformative for people, and it's easy for me, completely just easy money. And I've been doing that since 2006 when I got out of the Navy. My main way of making money has been through touch therapy in the healing arts. So the way this has been showing up for me is like the Saturnian part has been like, yes, you've mastered that, and there's more. So it's been like this sweeping away of what I've been over utilizing as far as what I'm comfortable, what's easy, what brings me pleasure. And I love to give a massage. Even, the getting the money part is just icing on the cake.
Exactly.
And then with the Scorpio side, what are you afraid of in your body, in your gifts, in your ancestral trauma? You don't talk about this. You won't tell anybody. What's been coming up is like my dad and alcohol abuse and drugs and too much sex, too much babies. I don't know who's the dad. I don't know who, like all this, like, deep stuff. Like, my dad's mother had 18 children, and it's like all the cultural mixing, and the reason we look the way we do with all the genetical, just so much.
Right.
Okay, so what are you afraid of in all of that? The deep mysteries of what's hidden below the surface, the secrets in your family. Then that's where that gift keeps coming through. It's like there's gifts in that buried, the treasure, the gifts in the garbage, the things that are buried that we're afraid to look at, afraid to show. We don't let the sun shine there. That Saturn square has been showing me to, like, do the work of, I've been seeing the pick, the what do you say, the mining, to go in and do that work and excavate to bring those gifts out. Knowing that makes so much sense. You were a corpsman in the Navy and you're still a healer. Okay. Yeah. So Justin, I was in the Navy. I used to do wound care. I did so much with the physical body. I've always been, ever since I was a little kid, been working with that, which is the Taurus side.
But it's also very Mars and Pisces to me.
The work in the, definitely.
Especially the even how you said it, like the spiritual body work, because it's almost like you do it on autopilot.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? And that's very much, right, our willpower, our drive. Mars
Mm,
is like, you are assertively using your hands for that
mm,
spiritual healing. That's
mm.
Mars Pisces.
And
How
it's the way I make money, which to me is that Taurus side of like,
yeah,
and I enjoy it.
yeah,
It brings me pleasure and it feels very what I lead with,
right.
Taurus.
Well, see, and that's so fascinating, right? For this, and that's what I was saying earlier with, we don't leave out the Leos because they're feeling stuff too. It's just the T square is Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, but any fixed ascendant,
Mm,
right? In those angular houses, this energy is hitting you. And one thing I think that is really fascinating about it all and how it's all playing out is understanding the releasing, the endings of things, so then we could have the new beginnings. Because we're like ending a cycle, right? The age of Pisces is ending. We're beginning a new cycle. We started a new cycle with the Jupiter Saturn conjunction in air signs. New cycle. All of these planets, Pluto,
mm,
Neptune, Saturn,
mm,
are all in the third decan, right? In their signs, right? 23rd, 24th degree, right? Neptune, Pluto, Uranus isn't quite there yet. But so it's just extremely fascinating that when you're thinking of the third decan of these placements, especially when we get to that critical degree of 29 degrees, oof, but what is that? What is that trying to let us understand? That it's okay when you complete something to truly just clean your hands and let it go.
mm,
Because when you let things go, right, let go of the material items, then you can bring in the flow, right? Energy, the flow of money, the flow of new things
mm,
and new things you value or collect, Taurus, right?
mm,
That are now able to come in because you've
mm,
released other energies.
mm,
So that can be physical, that can be spiritual, it can be material. But I think, as you said, it also has to be very much in terms of, and it was deep because you said this last time, that people are kind of remembering and bringing back old um, things like, like back in from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. It's all being recycled now.
mm,
And people are getting into things, right? I was laughing because I'm not laughing at my friend, but we have a friend that was, doing something, and they were like doing something that it was like this, giving them this spiritual high, and people were paying money for it now, whether it's ayahuasca or
mm,
or ecstasy, right? And I remember thinking in the late 80s and early 90s, where now people are paying like hundreds of dollars for this stuff. And back in the late 80s, early 90s, you're like $20 or whatever, or you're hanging out with your friends and they're like, tripping on something or whatever. And but it's coming back. It's recycling. I think of
mm,
Tribe Called Quest, the way that Bobby Brown just be amping like Michael, right? But things always recycle. And think about Aquarius, right? It's almost like kind of like the collective humanity, right? It's um, philanthropic work, the environment, right? It's like recycle.
mm,
And so we are at a place right now where we have to be willing to let go so then we can continue to grow and move forward. Remember what you were saying before about the massage? Well, that's easy money, but think about how much more you might be blessed if you get uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Do something that's a little bit more challenging.
Mm-hmm.
That's when we get into trust, deep water faith, faith over fear.
Mm-hmm.
That's very much of a Scorpio, right? Like kind of just
Mm-hmm.
manifest it,
Mm.
build it in it, and they will come. You know?
So that also is something, because now that joins in with what the Saturn square kind of feels like for me, is that there's a gift in your body, something that's completely unique and probably a little edgy and isn't anybody else's. It may be the way you say the thing or do the thing or write the thing that is completely unique to you, and it will never come out of anybody else the way that it can come out of you, that they're asking you to bring that. So Saturn with that 90-degree angle maybe is putting something in our path that feels like an obstacle, that feels restrictive. And when we notice those, okay, let me give you an example. I got this puppy. I'm like done with that puppy. I am not doing no more recordings
I've
anywhere
seen
near
it in
that.
some of your videos, and you're hilarious with the puppy. And I've seen you like have to stop and take it out of the room.
He's like eating my arm when I'm sitting. Oh my goodness, he is a mess, but he's sweet. I'm not gonna say nothing else bad about puppy. But
Mhm.
so something that has been happening is that on 3 different occasions, I left
And you
my
know, South
house.
Node rules dogs.
Excuse me?
The South Node rules dogs.
Okay.
That's a Vedic teaching, but I see where it works.
Okay, so puppy has been taking, he ate 3 of my books in the last 1 week.
Oh, that's not nice.
Why every book that he's eaten is a book on one specific topic.
No way.
Yes.
That's
One
so
of these
South,
books
that's so South Node. Okay, now tell us the topic. We're all in suspense.
this book come from India. I cannot replace this book.
Oh no.
It's a goddess teaching, and it's every morning I wake up and I do this ritual, which is to recite the 1,000 names of the Divine Mother.
Wow.
And this is stemming from the Tantra Yoga teachings of the Divine Mother.
Okay.
So Kali is at the forefront of this lineage, Kali, goddess Kali. And then he ate my book that is specific to Kali. It's okay, that's the second one. And then I have another Kali book. He ate that one also. Two books that were specific to Kali, and then this, which is my prayer book, the chanting, all 3 of these. So this is the Saturn aspect. I'm like, okay, so because I do trust the process of what's happening and I don't see anything as a mistake or something bad or nothing like that. I'm like,
I'm going to say something to blow your mind. You almost go ahead. Go ahead.
What are they telling me? What are they telling me?
That
and then I'm like, do I stop doing this? You know, is this
are ready,
something?
Anjani. You are ready. You are the goddess. You're ready. You know the ritual. You know the discipline.
I got that.
You got that.
I got that.
And so now you've got to share it, teach it. Saturn Aquarius, share the discipline and structure and the routine online with your network and groups and organizations.
Well, Jennifer said they're telling me to take that dog to the pound.
That Jennifer sweet. Be nice, Jennifer.
No, that was the question. It was like, is this something that I need to go away from? But what I got was, no, you got it. You've been doing this for 10 years now. You know the prayers, you know. So now how can you emanate that which you are? And
how do you release it?
It's
you
an
mastered
esoteric.
it. You know it. Now share it and release it.
And it's that Scorpio hidden occult esoteric teachings of moving the sound vibrations through the body, the tantric yoga rituals of the breathing patterns and the movements in the body and bringing in the emotions. And all of this is completely a tantra thing, which is Scorpio.
Yes. And I'm so
So,
curious. I don't know, like
oh,
I
you
always tell
asked
my
about
audience, I'm
this.
very honest with my people. They'll tell you, Jennifer and Irene will tell you, all of them tell you. Eric is very honest. Like if I don't know something, I'd be like, I don't know it. I don't know tantric yoga, and that is really, if you're teaching a class, I might sign up and take it because I want to learn. There's very little that I'm not afraid of anything, but there's very little that I don't want to know about. I'm so super curious. And that stuff fascinates me. Do you know during the pandemic was the first time ever that I did yoga?
Did somebody get you to do that?
Yep, we did family
Your
yoga.
wife.
My wife and I and the kids loved it. And my mom, she was doing it from the wheelchair. We had such a ball doing family yoga in 2020. It was so awesome. It just warmed my heart. And my mom, she would speak a little bit, but she was, she would whisper more a lot. But she'd be like, all right, now let's do it. And she'd sit in her wheelchair and she'd do her stretches up and stuff. And it was and the kids just, yeah, the kids, they, so we have to get back into that routine because we had stopped it. But it is so important. It helps.
Okay, so yeah, let's get to Irene here.
And
She's
you guys
asked.
can say some questions. Yeah.
Yeah, so one thing I have to say before we end on that yoga thing, which is that a lot of what we're learning in the yoga studios and on videos on YouTube,
It's not the real deal. I know.
it's not. It is what we call in India gymnastics. It's just, breathing and moving your body, which is wonderful, but the teachings go way deeper. Eric, it's gonna blow your mind because of the connection that it has to astrology.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
It's totally like, yeah.
Okay, so then let's see. Irene's okay. So what do we do with this? That's the thing. What do we do with this eclipse energy? One thing that yoga, I am the mother. One thing I want to mention is that this phrase, what do I do with these emotions? What do we do with this eclipse? What do we do? It's the art of not doing. This is happening. This eclipse is something it's really working us.
Yes.
And you can use what I'm doing, which is let me clean my body. I got like a 19-pound Epsom salt. I'm just gonna clean my body, soak in the hot water, drink lemon water. I've been spraying myself with water, like just being in water as much as possible to become like water. Because that's the Scorpio side where the moon is.
Yes.
So really working that. And then when the emotions come up, to let them have their space to move. What do? I don't know what to do with this emotion. You don't do anything. That emotion is doing what it needs to do. All you need to do is step back and let the energy move. It's like the snake going through, and it knows, your body knows what to do. It's your mind that's coming like, oh, direct this and make this happen.
Right. And sometimes, and I think about this, especially with Scorpio energy and it being very empathic and intuitive, you just need to feel. You need to feel. And like Anjani's speaking in terms of just meditation, bath, maybe even writing or just breathing, meditating, but feel your body, feel your emotions, feel the intensity. Now, don't verbally vomit on nobody else. Don't get into any rage, arguments, debates. It's more internal. This eclipse, remember, it's on the fixed axis, but at the same time, it's on a feminine energy axis. So you need to just feel it. and
Mm.
allow your body to go through sort of like the yin yang, the pendulum swing. But at the same time, think about how you and your body, how you're showing up for your body and how your body's showing up for you, right? Because so often we forget to love ourselves,
Mm.
right? And Scorpio energy, the Taurus is self love, not focusing on the money, the things you collect, the jewelry, the gems, right? But tap into the five and the sixth sense.
Mm.
Scorpio side of it, it's
Mm.
very much about the introspection, which both Taurus and Scorpio are.
Mm.
But it's and I would say out of the six of the three water and three earth, Scorpio's the least introspective because Mars is more of a masculine energy planet, and it's the
Mm.
traditional ruler of Scorpio. So I
Mhm.
find Scorpio is the most masculine of the earth and water signs, right?
Mm.
And the least introspective. So what you've got to learn to do, and this is challenging, is to learn how to trust.
Mm.
Scorpio, I joke, right? You know, I have my terms of endearment, and Irene and everybody on here knows, right? Gemini, the verbal slut, Scorpio, and people could take offense, but I never mean anything offensive. But there's truth to it, and that's why I say it. Scorpios can be emotional punks. And I say that in the sense that the emotions for them are so intense that they don't want to get into anything mushy and this and that. Like if you're dealing with a Scorpio, they'll make sure they're the last one to say I love you,
Mm.
right? Because for them, it is so intense and raw that when they get to that vulnerable state, it scares the hell out of them. Okay, understand that. Because Scorpio, once they do get to the place where they say they trust you, they love you, and they're going to be vulnerable with you, that's like putting a knife in their arm and like cutting blood. And, you know, like in old school, when we were kids, you'd be like, you want to be blood brothers and blood sisters? And you'd like do your finger. Well, Scorpio, it's like to death do us part. So think about that. Think about that intimacy with self, trusting self. Self love. These are huge themes on the Taurus Scorpio axis. So,
Okay, so Eric,
yeah.
when you say love your body, can that love be through self-discipline? And this is coming from my friend who is a super Mars archetype, very,
Mm,
very identified with Mars and the warrior and all of that. I love this question. When you say love your body, can that love be through self-discipline?
of course. How could it not be?
Mm.
Right? If you do not know how to govern your mind, body, heart, soul, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, it's almost like you have nothing. That's what Saturn teaches us, right? So think of Saturn as this great malefic that brings, excuse me, having some tea burps, more blessings than Jupiter and Venus.
Hmm.
If you respond to your abilities, if you put structures into place, if you put in disciplines, right? If you get organized,
Mm.
then there's nothing to have fear and anxiety and limitations about. Saturn's just saying, young lady, young man, put in the work. Grandma and grandpa will reward you. Clean your
Mhm.
room, shine your shoes, stretch in the morning, meditate, pray, do your
Mm.
deep clearing protocol. You know, my friend, I do that with my friend, Cool Conversations, Laura Cool. She's amazing, intuitive healer, psychic. You know, you have to have discipline. And I don't love the term rituals, but that's what it really is, right?
Mhm.
And but I always tell people, think of the practice of the discipline more than just the rote memory of ritual, right? So the dog puppy chewed the books up because you already have it. It's here and it's here. And now you've got to take it out of here and here and give it there. Right? So it's the same thing with, I tell people, when you do spiritual practices, I don't care if you're doing a dream book, letters to your younger self, meditation, prayer, the yoga, whatever it is, go outside, hug a tree and walk outside in nature, whatever it is, do something every day. And guess what? Maybe don't do the same thing the same time every day, because then you become on autopilot and you're not experiencing it and feeling it. Taurus Scorpio access, you're not merging with it, right? It's just automatic. So then you're going in the more on the unconscious side of things. So yes, the discipline is a full spectrum experience, and even if it's Tai Chi, or whatever it is, kickboxing, it doesn't matter. But just make sure you're doing it, and don't be afraid to switch it up, get freaky with it. I don't want to say get jiggy with it, get freaky with it. But have fun with what you're doing, right? So on Wednesday, I might literally go outside, hug a tree, record a video, go for a 20-minute walk, and drink a ton of water. The next day, I might do my little yoga stuff, lift my weights, still drinking my ton of water. You should be drinking a gallon a day. All the different things, but I don't, and I might repeat certain rituals, like, a couple days in a row or whatever. But the point is, for myself, and for the fact that I don't want to ever be super ritualistic and be on autopilot, I switch it up, because then I'm more present. Be present in whatever you do in life. Be present. That's the gift, right? The gift is a present. Be present. Show up for your spouse. Show up for your children. Show up for yourself. Be present. When I put that lotion on my Mars and Pisces feet to heal it, I am rubbing the heck out of my foot and doing my reflexology and making it feel better. And I'm present in the moment. I'm not thinking like, oh my God, I got to go finish this birth chart for this client and this and that. I'm like, no, I'm massaging the hell out of this foot right now so the pain could go away. Be present for yourself.
So that is very Saturn in Aquarius, and I love it. And I love it. It's like, okay, well, maybe you do it different. Don't do it the same. You don't get on autopilot. I think that's the bottom line, because and I think it just also depends your Saturn complex, your Saturn, how right now Saturn is in Aquarius, asking us to mix it up, innovate, be more bigger and radical and more flexible and changeable, and have a bigger picture perspective. So that do it every day thing, I'm a do it every day person. Like, if I don't do it at a certain time every day, it probably won't happen. So I am very regimented like that.
And right. And that's not a bad thing. I'm not knocking that at all.
Since Saturn has been in Aquarius, I've been like, like, I don't want to go running anymore in the morning. So my usual regimens have been shifted around. And I think that was also part of my books getting eaten up by my dog, was like, every morning I sit down from 6 to 6:45. I do this ritual every single day. And then my dog Rippy, my book, was like, do you really want to do that? And yes, I do. So I made sure I could keep the book. I do want to do this, but I had to check myself. So I think that could be part of that Saturn squaring the sun and moon, is like, you're going to get checked. Don't take it as it means don't do it.
Right.
You're just getting checked. So you have to think about it and decide. There was a really good question here. I can't see it anymore, but I remember what she was saying was like, why are we not paying more attention to the moon? She was like, the moon is our intuition, and why in astrology are we not paying? I love that question, because that is something that I was very bothered by And so I created this whole thing called Temple of the Moon every single day on it was a whole thing, and it was geared toward men to get back in tune with their inner moon,
With the
find out
divine
what
feminine. Yeah. Everyone needs
yeah,
to get back in tune with it because the patriarchal system has really bastardized and taken us away from the importance of that.
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't
We're
mean
a
to cut you off.
solar culture, 100%.
Right.
We need
And
a definition.
and what you were saying is so true. So Hannah, I want to jump on your moon thought, but just remember, you said it yourself.
Hmm.
That Saturn in Aquarius, it's also innovating your rituals.
Mm.
So when you're doing your book in tantric yoga and this and that or whatever, how can you innovate that? Can you do that ritual? And let's say either you do it yourself or you do it with your kids, or let's say you do it and record it and then make it into a webinar that people can purchase on awakenthedreamschool.com, or you know what I mean? Whatever it is, right? So how can you innovate your discipline? How can you innovate your rituals? How can you collectively share it, right? Because we sometimes need to spin, rethink, right? Gemini, Mercury retrograde, right? This is all, I like to bring it full circle. But see, this is all like connecting. And so think about how can we, because Gemini in itself, again, is not an introspective, it's air, it's Mercury, but it's a masculine energy. It doesn't, Gemini is not introspective. The Virgo side of Mercury is, but Gemini is not. So now, right, how can we get introspective, reassess, reanalyze our rituals for the betterment of trust, faith, values, self-love, merging, intimacy, surrender, right? And so, I hate to use you as the example or whatever, but it's just since you were saying it, it makes so much sense because I could see you doing that, right? Saying, okay, I've got this down, but how many other people need this? Right? Hey, my hand's up. I need it, right? So how many other people need to learn your ritual? And at the same time, yes, you can make a little bit of money from it too, but as a light worker and a healer and as an astrologer, this knowledge that we have, we are not to hoard it. We are to teach it, share it. All my people here on the live tonight, they know I give away free information every week, and just like you do on your channel. And I think that that is part of the calling. That is part of the service, Virgo 6th house. That's part of the work, right? That's your Saturn in Virgo. My Saturn in Taurus, right, has me very disciplined that I will sit there and massage my Mars and Pisces feet for some self-love. My kids, oh my God, when I was in the hospital in a coma, right? So the nurses were like, you have some really nice feet. All the nurses would comment on my feet. And I was like, well, thank you. I was like, but it's good genes, but at the same time, like, I take care of these puppies, right? Backed up or whatever in terms of like surgeries, but they look good and they feel good, right? So because I do the reflexology and the lotion and massage them and take the time. So that's Saturn, Taurus, right? That's very putting in the disciplines, for that self-love and discipline with the senses, So another thing I wanted to ask, and maybe people can chime in too, and you can see what people say. I wonder, with this trine to Pluto and Capricorn, and we do know the Capricorn will retrograde, back to 27 degrees, never getting to the exact minutes of America's Pluto return, but still getting back to the 27th degree. But 28 and 29 are very different energies from 27. Right. And I always think of, when you just bring in numerology, I think of the 27 as the completion of the sign. The 8 and 29 is when we're ingressing to the next sign, right? And so we've still got more work, more structures, more systems, more authorities, more governments that have to kind of still have that Pluto pruning, let's say. And so with this energy right now, with this lunar eclipse, what is Pluto saying, right? What is Pluto? Pluto's like over here, like, hey, like Pluto's like, in that trine, it's only 3 degrees off. So people, most astrologers would still consider it a good, decent, solid trine. But what is it telling us? What is the Taurus sun and North Node trining Pluto and Capricorn speaking to us? And for me, the one thing that I keep thinking about is the transformation of our internal systems and how we are externally participate in them. Example. When you go from Taurus to Capricorn and just leaving the Virgo out, you think of Taurus like money and this and that, and you think of Capricorn like achievement, status, success. But what is that process? And in doing that process, are we losing our soul? Are we sacrificing our values? Are we losing our self-worth? Are we addicted to the money? Right? So these are questions that we've got to start to answer for ourselves as individual humans, because look, you can all see it. Whether it's crypto just took a big financial bath and stuff and lost like $1 trillion in one day or whatever, whether it's digital currency, whether it's Web3, whether it's, the whole everything in terms of being, environmentally friendly. What is the process of going from Taurus to Capricorn that we can find in a healthy way that maybe we haven't had a healthy relationship with it before?
I think this has something to do with capitalism and us doing what we would do. So this has been coming up for me a lot, but I thought it was because I'm getting ready to go into my Uranus initiation. And I think it might still be related to that. But what's been coming up a lot, like I mentioned, the easy money. You got a corporate job, you got your regular paycheck and your 401k and your W-2s and all this stuff that we've been basing our society upon.
Yep.
Our jobs. Our jobs, for the most part, don't really ask us to dig into our soul and share those gifts.
Yep.
So what's been coming up for me around this is like, I feel stuck. Like, I'm not fucking doing that. I don't want to do that. And it's like, well, what would you do for money? And before you asked me, I would do anything. I'm like, I didn't really have much. Oh, well, here's an extra 100 if you stayed later at this. I used to work at a spa, and she would be like, here's $100. I'll be like, fuck yeah, I'm done. Like, I'll call the babysitter and be like, I'm gonna be a little bit late, but I'll give you an extra 20 because I'll keep the 80 from this 100 she's about to give me. I was like that.
Yeah, mom's got to make the money.
I'm like, I don't want to do it for I don't want to. So now it's like that Pluto trine feels somewhat like a digestion of the capitalistic system as it lives within our physical body, because we were born into this tank, the shark of like, when you were born, you got that little outfit. Guess what? It wasn't free. Your mom had to pay for the Tylenol. She had to pay every little bit of you being born. Have you seen that on Netflix, The Business of Being Born?
No.
Since you were born, there's been a price tag on every single thing. The little photo that they took, you think is so cute. You got that. That was like a $20 photo. So we have it, it's in us to think like, oh, what will I do for this $20? My son, now he's got a job. If he orders some Dine and Dash or Hub Grub, or I don't know what they're called, these delivery things,
DoorDash, all that stuff.
whatever that is, yeah, he's like, okay, well, this just cost you $30 to get some food from wherever you got that from. You paid $30 for them to bring that to you, but you're only going to make $17 for your hour. So then there's a feeling of like, my hour doesn't afford me this food that I want to get. So somehow that capitalistic system is like alive in us. And I feel like this Pluto at those last degrees of Capricorn, that last little bit of where we are like, what will I do for money? What am I worth? What is my time worth? And then because Capricorn is Earth in the form of humans, Earth in the form of animals, then and so that brings in our ancestors, our physical bodies, our blood, and our bones. And then Taurus is Earth in the form of gemstones, in the Earth in the form of the Earth itself, rocks and mines. I think about the mines like diamond mines and copper mines and all
and
of
the
that.
grass and the mud and soil.
So this seems to me like, what do you want to do with your earth, with your body? What are you worth? What are your values? And then what are you doing every single day? Because Capricorn, what are you doing every single day with all of your time and all of your attention that is fulfilling your true longing for yourself, being that you are earth?
Yeah.
So I think we got some untying. And how do we do that? And still, because we got to pay the bills. Like we are not being.
So this is, I think, what's so fascinating. I think the North Node in Gemini was preparing us during the pandemic for this in terms of, you've got to get back in the local community. You got to get back in the Gemini third house, social media, siblings, friends, cousins, neighbors, and you got to get back to the hand to hand, right? If I grow strawberries and bananas and you grow kale and apples, then we both got fruits and vegetables, right? Or kale and you know, and broccoli, whatever. So we have to get back to, and it's perfect that it went from the Gemini to the Taurus, right? Because it's literally saying, get ready for this while we're dealing with Uranus and Taurus, hashtag new earth, and all this upheaval. The upheaval is to show you and knock you on your freaking nugget. Wake up. You grow your food. You have your survival skills. You love and value yourself. You collect ancient crystals, gems, gold, silver, okay? And that's, and then you, Saturn Aquarius, build your groups and organizations that you can exchange these things, right? Because if we don't have independence, we've seen where systems can fail us. You can't sit there and rely on a 401k anymore, on a system or insurance or a government. You have got to step up and figure out how to grow that kale, how to grow the oranges, right? How to make money by solving people's problems and solutions, connecting with groups, joining organizations. So this is a deep time. And like you said, it's so funny because, you know, it's so funny. And as you were creating that visual, I'm thinking, Virgo's over here in the middle of Taurus and Capricorn, and we're not no animal, we're a human. And we're all about what? Virgo's about the herbs and the medicine.
Yep. Virgo is Earth in the form of plants. And it's got that it's mutable, so it's
Ubiquitous.
constantly
Yes.
transforming.
And it's almost there to guide you through and to show you, because Virgo's like where we start like adulthood, sixth house, right? Your work, your health, your hygiene, daily routine. You got to show up. You got to have a schedule. Got to have a plan, right? So it's like Virgo is there along the way, just kind of watching, keeping everything on peep, studying and analyzing, assessing, and saying, what are you doing? What are you doing daily, Taurus and Capricorn? If they fire you from that banking job where you've been slaving away for the last 18, 23 years, what are you going to do? Who are you?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Finish your thought. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I was going to say, can you feed yourself? Can you get the herbs and the medicine to heal yourself?
Okay, so this leads into Sarah's question down here. I'm really happy that we're going right here because I really am feeling so much that connection with the plants. You know, plants have been here longer than us.
Yep.
They've gathered all the information. They have all the medicine. They know just what we need. And Virgo, I feel tying into that. Really, there's like this middle thing between those two more stable or more grounded Earth, which is Virgo. And it's changeable and it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Mercurial.
Yeah. Okay, so Sarah asks, could psychedelic therapy be part of Saturn in Aquarius? That kind of ties in where we're at right now with these plants. And I think it could be Saturn in Aquarius and bringing in the mycelium, the way that those plants have those tons of different connections that are sharing information underground that's connecting all the plants together. And then we're taking that mycelium, not just a fruit of what comes, the mycelium under the earth, that we're using all of that and that we're allowing that to heal our synapses in our brains, also connecting us to the plants, to all the information on earth and with each other. Could psychedelic therapy be part of Saturn in Aquarius? What do you think, Eric?
Well, yeah, because Sarah, and I think this is my friend Sarah, and it's like, it's so true because we were talking about it earlier in terms of remembering. So in America, only 10 to 15% of the medical schools teach us the truth about the endocannabinoid system is in our bodies. So that means when we are deficient and don't have THC or CBD, we're deficient. Our bodies, it's in us. God put that in us. And that's a plant, it's an herb, right? And so when you get back into things that are mind altering, and now you're seeing all of these CEOs are getting into the mind exploration and expansion through psychedelics, whether it's ecstasy, acid, ayahuasca, special K, the ketamine, whatever it is, these can take us to altered states, right? So we're not just in beta or alpha, we're in beta, theta, delta, alpha, because your brain can function and be creative and productive in any state, right? Even in the subconscious and unconscious mind, right? If you're even daydreaming, you have to understand your connection to God and source can give you downloads in any state. And so you can activate that through psychedelics, through meditation, through yoga, through prayer, through THC, CBD, through dream books, through introspection, letters to your younger self, like I teach all my clients. tapping into the child who blocks pain and messages they don't understand and then throws them back in the subconscious mind. You got to go in there and get in your 12th house and dig it up and out and bring it to the rest of the living sky chart, as Anjani would say, right? You have got to put in the work. That is Saturn. Aquarius is saying, do it using technology, innovative, tapping into the collective, humanity, right? Astrology, aliens. This is all Aquarius 11th house. So, guys, understand the old ways and the pre-March or January 2020, we're never going back to that. And so what you've got to do is figure out who you are in this new world. And you put it in order for yourself. Don't let them put it in order for you. You drive the ship in creating your Saturn and Aquarius, Taurus North Node, Scorpio South Node, the moon. Don't forget, the moon is at home in Cancer and exalted in Taurus because it's the closest thing to the earth. It has the fruits and vegetables and the plants grow at night, that moonlight. It is so much a part of us, controls the tides of the ocean, the woman's menstrual cycle. So respect the moon. Respect the moon tonight. When you see it glowing in the sky, this full blood Scorpio full moon, honor it. Feel it. Surrender. Let go of your control. We try to control everything in our lives. When are we going to learn to submit and surrender and exist in gratitude and humility? The fact that we can even see the moon, feel its vibrations, feel the water. That's, these are deep times. And Saturn is just saying, respond to your abilities. So put in that innovation. Try CBD. Try Special K. Try ayahuasca. I know I want to try some ayahuasca. I never did. You know what I mean? But understand that any time or place that you are in, be present and be productive. Don't just sit around somewhere and get high and euphoric and then just veg out and watch Netflix. Grab you a pen and a paper, stereo, a taper, me and Eric B, and a nice big plate of fish, which is my favorite dish. Without no money, it's still a wish, right? But go and write something, create, write your book, write your memoirs, write your monologue, write your screenplay, write your play, write letters to your younger self, healing your subconscious mind, write your dream book, write, create. So I know we got to get ready to wrap this up soon. I know you got to go soon back to the family, but this has been like, it's intense, y'all. And this knowledge is love. So I got nothing but love, and Anjani's got nothing but love for you. And I think we've given you a map, and your birth chart is the map of your life. Use these planets, commune with them, talk to them, learn them, get that relationship. And would you say, Anjani, it's more than knowing them book-wise? Feel them, be intuitive with them, because they'll communicate to you.
This is something Irene is in here just shouting out. And I know we didn't really get to read. I've been reading them. But this is a point that I'm with you, Irene, 100%. And just what Eric just said is like the light of day. This is the sun. Everything is well defined, and we like this linear function, and we are a solar culture. We change the calendar when it's gonna be. We go by the sun.
Yeah.
So to get back into more of that intuitive nature, just make a commitment to respond to your ability tonight and listen to the moon. Listen, attune. Do you know that yoga is attuning to our source self? It's not attuning to something outside of you. The moon is inside of you. The sun is inside of you. This whole solar system is you. It's who you are. And then this is just such a blessing that we can look out into the sky and see a part of ourselves. As one of my teachers says, as above, so below, as within, so without, that we inform the mysteries as much as the mysteries inform us. So we also, what we're holding in our body when we're looking up, listening to the moon, hello, who are you? I always will give this thing I will say when I sit before anything, the ocean, a plant in nature, if I'm going to be harvesting sage or whatever the medicine is, I will sit there. Hello, my name is Anjani. My father is Richard. My mother is Brenda. I come from this place. These are my people where I'm from. Who are you? And then I sit quiet and be open to receiving the messages from the plant, the wisdom, whatever it is. And I'll take my belly grumbled. I'll take that as some information being received. So tonight, when we sit out under the sky, we can do the same thing. Hello, my name is such and such. I come from this place. I'm the daughter of this person, the granddaughter of this person. Who are you?
That's deep.
Listen, not to say, give me something, tell me something. Not that, not that.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah.
Like you would with a lover, somebody that you're interested in learning about. You don't just come and talk about yourself or ask them to give you something. Tell me, what do I need to do with my life? We don't do that. You get to know that planet or that luminary before you start asking for things, you know. So, and because we have the capacity to do that. And even if you know, just I like to sit, drink something, and sing songs to the moon. And then I'm very blessed to have this whole Tantra yoga tradition, that there are so many songs that are easy to remember that I could just sit there and sing it to the moon. And it feels like this, like it's being sung back to me.
That's beautiful. That is that. And that's a good note for us to end on. That is so beautiful. And I think that I hope Irene and everybody watching, you know, do that, be present, and just feel, right? Trust, let go. Try not to control anything. Be innovative in your heart and soul. Be present. Have the gratitude and value yourself, value your friends. And you know what I mean? I think so often we forget to just say please and thank you. And not just to family and friends, the mailman, you know, someone holding the door for you, but also to yourself. And like what Anjani said, to the planets, to the moon, to your ancestors. Have you just recently spoken to grandma and grandpa and thanked them for all that they went through so that they can make your parents who made you? And you can go back further, but I'm just saying, just on that simple level, for the most of us, we've, if not met one of our grandparents or both of them, if they passed on before we were born or when we were young, maybe you heard the stories at least, thank them. And I know sometimes whether you guys are into certain things or not, certain things can sound crazy or hokey or whatever. You know what? Be a little hokey, be a little crazy, be a little silly. Be you and be intentional and present. Okay. So, my friend, this was another doozy. I hope everybody enjoyed this. Enjoy the moon tonight. Understand it's, you know, this is not no flat earth or whatever. You can't escape this karmic energy. There's no running off the planet. There's no leaving Earth and going to Neptune and bouncing to Mercury. This energy, as a collective, as an individual, you know, we're going to experiencing it. We're going to feel it. And look at your house where you've got the Scorpio. Look at where you have the Taurus, where you have the Aquarius. and just look at those themes. Look at what planets are in there. And then look at the planets that are, in transit. Sun, Uranus, North Node in Taurus, Moon, South Node in Scorpio, Saturn, Aquarius, Pluto, Capricorn, and just see what planets they're hitting in your chart and meditate on that tonight too. You might get some new revelations about yourself through your chart by just feeling it. It won't hurt you. I'll tell you that. So, all right, you guys, this was amazing. Anjani, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. We promised them and then we delivered. So that makes me feel good. And I'm so honored to have you back on Knowledge is Love. And it was fun. And I really enjoyed being on Venus Gemstone. You guys, please go follow Anjani on Instagram at Venus Gemstone. And also on YouTube at Awake in the Dream School. Anjani, please tell them about your services and your website again so they can come and learn, your new yoga practices, the Tantra yoga that you're going to be taking from the puppy book, and you're going to be teaching to them.
Everything that I teach is through Tantra yoga, and it's through astrology. So it's basically working through the body and communicating, relating that. So it's very relatable, the Venus gemstone in our heart. So Awaken the Dream School, I have a free I don't know it's like it's called the Central Channel, which is basically we get on once a week. We can jump on Zoom, and I can go over things with your chart, ask questions, do like question and answer, but real time with your chart up on the screen. So it's a lot more personal than what we're doing on YouTube. I got a whole bunch of stuff. Every time you get a reading, it comes with a free course, because the courses that I have on my school relate with the different readings that I offer. So that's really cool. I make prayer beads that are related to your astrology chart with gemstones that will help you working with whatever it is that I just made this one for myself.
Oh,
cool. My new one for now. A whole bunch of stuff. So on Venus Gemstone, there's
wait. I like pig's feet and hog moths. Where's my prayer bead? I'm joking. But that sounds cool. Okay. I like that. I have to check that. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just had to make a funny joke because I'm a silly guy. Tell them your website.
Yeah, the website is Awake in the Dream. Awake in the Dream School? I don't know. You just go to my YouTube because it links up.
AwakeInTheDreamSchool.com, right?
Yeah. So let's just keep going. And so I think on my YouTube channel in about 30 minutes, I'm going to do a guided meditation to just tune in deeper into these mysteries of Scorpio and Taurus.
Wow.
You can jump on over there. If not, I wouldn't want to personally, because just be in it. You know what I mean? But I'll do a little guided meditation that can be used for this moon. It can also be used for another full moon. It's a full moon specific meditation. So
that sounds great.
Yeah.
All right, you guys.
Well, thank you guys so much. It was great. See y'all again soon.
It was fun. Thank you for watching episode 54. Knowledge is Love. God bless you guys. Enjoy and feel this moon. All right. God bless. Bye. Bye. All righty. At least I think we said goodbye. It's off, right?
And you know that.
Yeah, click on the episode.
You sure you want